Time is 3:19 p.m. Have not gone back to bed yet. I don't know. I'm kind of tired, but I ate some eggs, so I don't feel as tired. I don't know. It's just how it is. That guy, Annabelle Gano, is just a piece of shit, bro. Like, he's not a good person. I don't like interacting with him. He's one of these typical, like, Oceanian guys, Australian, New Zealand guys that are just, like, total pieces of shit. And they think it's funny. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. It makes me, like, stressed and, like, pisses me off that they're like that. I don't like it. And, yeah, the girl's alright, but I think we got, like, nothing in common. To be honest, I don't really have much in common with Australian New Zealanders. It's just, like, not fluid. Like, when I'm interacting with people from East Asia, it's so different. Like, the whole manner is, like, totally different. Really. It's, like, totally different culture. I guess it's just a cultural thing. But, like, yeah, I've got, like, we kind of don't have anything in common. I don't know. Voice chatting with, like, I guess maybe it depends on the people, but, like, it's, like, that was, like, stressful for me. That was, like, quite stressful. I always feel like I'm putting on a performance when it's, like, people from these parts. I don't feel like I can be myself easily. Which is, like, what I feel. I don't know. I like being myself. I like who I am. I don't want to change for anyone. Like, significantly. I'm not compromising, like, my fundamentals, but yeah, it just, this is, like, my life's experience, bro. Is, like, having issues with, like, New Zealand or Australian types. And then, but with people from East Asia, it's, like, effortless. Why is that? I think we're just similar people. Maybe East Asian culture is just more similar to who I am as a person. You know, something like that. Why are these ants always crawling up and down my wall if there's no food that they're getting? I don't understand. Maybe there is food that they're getting. Where are they getting food from? There's no food around here. Where are they getting food from, bro? What the fuck? Right, I've said it before, right? My friend group, late high school, um, two people from East Asian background, right? Sinosphere. Fuck these ants, bro. Go away. Get off my wall. Go back to your anthill. There's no food around here. Go away. Two people from East Asian background, East Asian influence background. One guy from England, originally. Moved to New Zealand when he was 6. One guy who was, half Polynesian, half Asian. And a guy who I think had autism. So it's kind of like, basically, my close friends in late high school, which is like when you've established yourself basically, were all either foreigners. They were literally all foreigners, and a guy who's like has like a is like neurodivergent to the point of like being basically foreign. You know, so he was a nonconformist in a sense, in many senses actually. That's annoying. He won't add me. I don't know. I guess he just doesn't want to reconnect. Sometimes I think about him. I hate these fucking ants, bro. Go away. Get off the wall. Why there's so many? I keep flicking them off and then they come back up again. And there's like multiple every time. It's like two. Two at the same time. Bro, why do Australian girls, they can't tell what I'm saying. They don't understand my accent, bro. Is it that hard to... It's literally the second time this has happened, bro. That's crazy. I don't think I'm hard to understand. Maybe I am. Maybe I am hard to understand. I don't know. I've never had... this is the thing, though. Is it my microphone? Because I've never had anyone in real life ever be like, I can't understand what you're saying. So weird. Bro, does Josie Bella sleep? The fuck? She's still on. That's crazy. Maybe it's an uncertainty thing. Like, if we're looking at, like, what is it? Interpersonal communication or whatever. Maybe it's an... I just feel like... Like, with... For example, white Australians and New Zealanders, it's just not effortless. It's just not effortless at all. For me. To me. You know? It's either like gives me anxiety and I'm like stressed and I like can't think of what to say and I feel like pressure to talk when I don't really want to. And I also feel like we just don't have much in common a lot. You know, what do I like? Politics, philosophy, intellectualism. Find me an Australian New Zealander that cares about this shit, bro. I know I talk shit about the WSWS, but that guy, Tom Peters, he felt like he was actually similar to me and it was easy to talk to him. Right? I felt like I was talking to like another intellectual, which is you don't really see. You don't really find many intellectuals in New Zealand. Even though like I totally disagree with, well, significantly disagree with his political views and I don't support his party in a sense because I think they're ineffective and all this shit. It's so weird, bro. Yo, this guy Anabolic Anna, he's like so fucking racist and he's like all of these terrible like hateful things and bad jokes and he's like not serious and he's always joking. Crazy, bro. That's like classic Oceanian male. It literally is. Like maybe he's a bit more extreme than the average, but that literally is like classic Oceanian male culture, bro. No joke. That's what people are like here. The joke is to like the play is to like be really offensive and then bond over that. It's fucked. I hate that shit. Are you like supposed to be friends because they're like kind of nice to you? How can I be friends with someone who's like that, bro? What the fuck? That shit's awful. People in this part of the world are often very confident, but it's in a way that is like not necessarily backed up. Often, people in this part of the world, it comes off to me as like arrogance, which is like undeserved confidence. When people are kind of confident in spite of like either a lack of like being qualified or knowing things or skill and all of this. So it's like arrogance, not like true confidence. I don't like that. And they're very indulgent. They're not very restrained. Like to go all in all the time. And that sort of thing. I wish I could just find some East Asians to talk with. Really. Like, I had friends from that part of the world before. Not that part of the world. They were from that part of the world, but they don't have to be. Just part of the culture, you know? I feel like the culture likes people like me more and it's easier. Isn't it ironic? Like, for a Westerner, I'm not very westernized. Why? Like, it's a reasonable question someone could ask. Why am I someone who's grown up in the West my whole life? Why do I have, like, the manner of a person from East Asia, in a sense? Maybe, look, it doesn't look like it when I'm on stream, but when I'm interacting with other people, in terms of, like, in voice calls and in real life, it's, like, way more like that. That's how I am. It's like, it just, I don't, it's just, like, that's what comes to me. Is to be, like, restrained and kind of anxious and, like, have long pauses between conversations and stuff. And I think in East Asian culture they accept that. In white culture they don't. White people are always telling me, you're too quiet, you need to talk more. You know, and they're filling the spaces in the conversation and all this. And yeah, a lot of the time, sometimes I can't think of what to say. But, I mean, I don't know, bro. She's not letting me boast. Annoying ass. I feel like Westerners treat me like a child. A lot. Like especially young ones. Because they're like, oh, you like too anxious and stuff. Bro, I'm gonna respawn my car. Fucking bull. What did I have, like 10 stars? Was I literally on like 5 stars or something? That's insane. Now the police, what are they gonna steal my car? What? I didn't even fall that far, bro. It's just how it is, bro. And like, from a young age, I've had this like positive impression of East Asians because I feel like they're similar to me. And then when I am, oh, get out of the fucking way, bro. When I'm interacting with them, it's easier. It's like easy, a lot. What the fuck is happening to my car? Why is it so fast now? Like when I was a kid, I always wanted like East Asian friend. And then I got it and I was like, this is like really great. It was like not a disappointment at all. It was literally like I got friends from East Asia. I don't, look, it sounds, yeah, I like them as people, obviously. But it literally was like this was something I wanted because I thought it would be good. And then I got it and it was good. You know? I made friends from these cultures and they were good friends and I liked them as people, etc., etc. And they were some of the best friends I've had in terms of like just like general interaction and stuff. Very easy to get along with. Very easy to get along with. Very quite low anxiety, not stressful. I only get stressed when I'm around other people. Like white people and Polynesians and any whitewashed or like west, assimilated people who are assimilated into this culture. You basically can't tell the difference. Like when I say like I'm interested in Asian girls, like I've said that, right? It's kind of true, but like at the same time, if she's like super assimilated into Australian New Zealand culture in like a bad way and is basically like a white girl, that's like I hate that shit. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's not just the way someone looks. It's also like because oftentimes people who look like that have a certain similar cultural background. Okay, at least a little bit. Like there's at least a little bit of influence sometimes, right? Yeah, I just don't like. I don't find talking to a lot of New Zealand Australians very satisfying. It doesn't. This is the thing, bro. And this is like insane. I used to think, oh, I don't get enjoyment out of conversations. I used to think, oh, like I'm like an introvert thing, and I don't enjoy conversations and I don't enjoy socializing, right? I used to think that when I was younger. Okay, some people I still a little bit enjoyed interacting with like some of my friends, like you know, um, bro. Then I got like East Asian friends, and it was like, oh shit, like, because they say like, oh, introvert, you don't like get energized from conversations, bro. I got friends from East Asian background, and I was like, oh shit, I actually enjoy having conversations with these people. I actually enjoy social interaction with these people. Like, I actually feel energized and like full of energy afterwards. And that had basically never happened before, right? Maybe, isolated examples with some people, but bro, when I say like I basically never had that experience, and I just thought, oh, that's just not who I am. I thought because of the overwhelming like dominant culture in this country, and the degree of conformity to which everyone follows that, I thought, oh, I just don't enjoy conversations. Do you know how life changing this shit is? To be like, oh wait, I do enjoy conversing with people. Oh, I actually can get energy out of social interaction. It's just not with most people here, right? It's just like being a girl and finding like 90+% of guys unattractive or something, and it's something like that, or like you're always dealing with shitty guys, and then you find someone who's like an actual honest person, honest, caring person, and it's like insane because the vast majority of people aren't like that. The vast majority of people in my country follow a certain culture closely, and I hate that culture. I kind of find it disgusting. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Right? That's terrible, in my opinion. It's terrible. It hates people like me. People like me are considered worthless losers in this culture, and like valuable or even now ideal. And I have like ideal, like not maybe not exactly ideal, but idolized qualities in other cultures, which here it's like hated. New Zealanders and Australians hate intellectualism. In East Asia, they value it because it's seen as like a sign of like nobility or something to be like well educated, a thinking person, to be like a gentleman in all of this, to be refined, to be um, more restrained when you're talking with people is like that is like noble, and noble is good to them. New Zealanders and Australians resent nobility, right? They not only do they not think it's a positive thing, they actively hate it. They actively hate anything that seems like nobility to them. This like as ChatGPT was writing about this anti-aristocracy attitude, right? In East Asia, they don't have an anti-aristocracy attitude. They don't have an aristocracy necessarily, but the values of nobility are still considered positive traits in most of those countries. China, Japan, South Korea, they still value these things, right? They don't value them in New Zealand and Australia. They actually hate them. They actually think they're a sign of weakness, right? But yeah, when I say like conversations and stuff with like Australians, New Zealanders who are, you know, white or Polynesian usually, like people who fit into the like the dominant culture, it drains me all the time. It's always draining me, bro. Like I feel so like exhausted afterward because I'm like anxious the whole time and all of this. And you think, oh, and again, here's another good point. You think, oh, you just got social anxiety. Actually, it depends on who I'm with entirely. It depends heavily on who I'm with, actually. Actually. Like, yeah, there might be a base degree of social anxiety, but it is also significantly dependent on who I'm interacting with and how I'm interacting with them. I could be in real life conversation with a lot of people from East Asian backgrounds, and it'll be fluid conversation more or less. Like, I might be a bit restrained, but that's kind of just how I am with new people. A lot. Which I think is normal. Um, yeah, like, I don't know, just I feel like a lot of the white style culture does not come naturally to me when it comes to, like, interpersonal interactions, interpersonal communication and all of this. Relationships don't work out, right? Like, bro, when I say, like, when I made new white friends, who were, like, New Zealander white friends at school, when I moved schools, it took them years. It took years for them to treat me generally respectfully in a way that I would kind of want to be treated. Years, bro. When I say, like, 5+ of interactions all the time, bro, compared to, like, people from East Asia treat me respectfully immediately. Like, it took literally years for white New Zealander friends to, like, figure out how to treat me respectfully in the friend group that I was in. How to, like, you know, not push my boundaries all the time, which is what they would otherwise be doing, right? When you are not close, they don't push your boundaries as much because they don't know you. You get closer, they push your boundaries all the time for years, and then years and years and years later, they finally start being properly respectful because they actually understand who you are as a person a little bit, right? They kind of know you to a degree as like a full person, right? Oh my god, bro. When I say, like, I knew these people from, like, 20, what was it, 2013 to, like, 21, right? Which is, like, 8 years. And when I tell you it took them until, like, 19, maybe. Maybe not even 19. Maybe even like 21 or 20. 21. For some of them to, like, and it actually took me shifting away from them because they were, like, pissing me off so much. I actually, like, kind of cut them off a bit because of how toxic they were. And they would just push boundaries constantly, like, all the time, and they got enjoyment out of it. Bro, when I say, like, when it comes to a lot of, like, white New Zealander Australian relationships I've had, especially guys, it's like being toxic is like the rule, not the exception. It's most guys are toxic. The majority are toxic and have, like, bad views on stuff and do bad things. It's actually crazy, bro. And they're, like, terrible people to be friends with. And they think it's fucking funny to be, like, pushing people around all the time. They get enjoyment out of that. This is just what they do. Like, this is literally you can't say, oh no, it's not. This is their culture, bro. That's their culture. Their culture is what they consistently do. Bro, being toxic is like white male Oceanians' culture, largely. People who are born and raised here, who are male, are largely toxic. They're pretty much all toxic. That's their culture, bro. Unless they're, like, outside of the mainstream. That's the mainstream culture. Like, literally. toxic pieces of shit. Like, they're always shit talking, always pushing your boundaries. It's fucking crazy. I'm so sick of it, bro. It's insane. Like, you can't, and otherwise they have, like, terrible views on shit. It's like, you can't make friends. You can't make friends, bro. How are you supposed to have male friends? And then the women I've got, like, nothing in common with, and I don't find them very attractive, so it's kind of like, what's the point of that? And they're also, like, kind of toxic in other ways, sometimes. They have the arrogance that pisses me off, and I don't like it. This overconfidence. And the style, which I'm not all of them, but you know, there's this white New Zealander Australian style, which is like always talk, always you gotta be talking constantly. I don't mind it when they're talking a lot, sometimes, but like they'll get pissed off if you don't do the same stuff. Like they want you to reciprocate. Like, it's so weird, bro. I don't really get it. Like, it's hard to understand. You know, what I know is I am the way I am. I have a lot of problems with one group of people, or a couple groups of people that represent the two big countries in this region. Okay? It's the same people over and over and over again as basically like a rule that I have a problem with. The exceptions don't fit the rule, more or less. And the people I have the most ease with, there's also more or less a rule there. It's the people I have the most ease with and I would like to have the proper relationships with, friendships and whatever, people from East Asian backgrounds. Most of the time. Like, that's what it is. That's what I'm talking about. I just don't have the opportunity to interact with any of them frequently. And that's the worst part, is that, like, the people who are most available are the worst. And the people who are the best aren't available at all. I don't have any opportunities to interact with East Asians at all. And bro, it's not like you're not even gonna like all of them, obviously, but it's like I can't even find any. Where am I supposed to find any? You know, like play a game and chat. No one play, there aren't any Asians on here. There aren't any East Asians on here. What do? I do Garry's Mod, I do GTA. There aren't any on either of them. Bro. Even if there were on Garry's Mod, like, they'd all be minors. You know, there's like a guy from the Philippines, which is like, not really, it's not really East Asian, it's more Southeast Asian, but, he's barely on, and he's like 12 years old or something. Not really interested in chatting with minors, you know? Indians, like, a lot of like South Asians aren't that bad. Indians aren't that bad. Indian girls, quite attractive. Like, that's not the point. I shouldn't be talking about physical attractiveness, but like, the men are usually nice. The only problem I have with like South Asia or India is like the conservatism, social conservatism, and like the religion. I don't like the religion, and look, it sounds terrible because people will tie you disliking the religion to like hating a whole race of people. Well, that's not true. I don't hate Indians. I just think Hinduism is like probably a bad religion. I think all religions are bad. Hinduism is not a good one either. It's not a very good religion. I don't really, but again, I don't really think there are any good religions. Yeah, what I get, look, here's the analysis. You want the analysis? Let me break it down. What I get with the whites, the the people from white backgrounds, New Zealanders, Australians, the males are usually toxic to me. A lot of, not all of them, not all of them, but the ones I meet online, and the ones that I have to interact with in real life sometimes, are toxic to me. They shit talk all the time. They have bad intentions and they don't like me. They they I piss them off or something and they piss me off, right? Um, and then the women are like, we don't really get along that well, in my opinion. And they like pity me. They like feel bad for me most of the time. They like pity me, you know? Which is like, petty is not respect, right? You want to be liked and respected. None of them like or respect me. It's either toxic hatred or petty. Petty is like contempt. Petty is like you're inferior to me and you need like me to help you with stuff. I'm not asking for anyone to help me. I'm just trying to make friends sometimes. Which from my perspective looks like it's never going to happen with these people. I'm kind of like, you can say, oh, this sound racist? Yeah, well, it is a race thing. Why is it all like one group of people and they're adjacent, right? Polynesian culture in this part of the world is heavily influenced by white culture. They've like developed alongside each other and influenced each other. It's like just as bad, if not even worse, in some regards. Look, I'm not saying all Polynesians are worse. Some Polynesians are way better than whites. That's true, but broadly speaking, we don't get along like a lot. I just don't get along with a lot of them. There's a lot of personality clash there. Culture, personal culture clash. Me personally, I clash with their culture a lot. It's very outgoing. They're very like direct. I don't like that sometimes, you know? For friends. Um like I went to a family get together and like my cousin who's way older than me has got a new husband who's like some on and he's like sounds like I sound like a piece of shit and all this, but he's like telling me that he's like really like confident, but also like kind of arrogant, if you know, like I don't like arrogance. Okay, you like what is like clear for me. I don't mind when people are confident when they're like correct or when they like have a good basis. What pisses me off is when people are like really confident in spite of like not having a good basis. This guy was like kind of like breaching boundaries and shit all the time. He's like, you know, asking me like, "Oh, did you play sport? Oh, you should get back into it." Like, why? Dude, this is the first time we met, and this guy's like trying to give me fucking life advice. I didn't ask. Like, is this a fucking culture or something? Like, I didn't ask. I'm not interested in hearing what some random person has to say about my fucking life. I don't play sport because I've got chronic illness, you fucking idiot. Of course, he wouldn't know that. He's just making shit up. He's just confident, despite the fact that he knows nothing. Right? He asked me what I do for work. I say I don't work. I'm unemployed. I'm on benefit. He goes, "Oh, how do you do that?" Arrogant piece of shit. It pisses me off. What pisses me off is people who have more confidence than they have like actual sense. It comes off as totally tactless and just coarse and like in a sense, like, kind of barbaric, right? Like, they're just brute forcing their way through everything, and apparently it works. Doesn't work for me. That pisses me off. I hate it. Imagine that's your first impression of this guy is like just profound arrogance, overconfidence. And it's not this is the thing, like, it has to be a cultural thing, because it's not the first time. It's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time. A lot of people from Polynesian backgrounds are like that. They're very confident, but at the same time, I don't think the confidence comes from a good place. I think the confidence is like a compensating measure or something. Like, they have the belief that if they just continue to be confident, this is what this guy actually said, Anabolic Anna, which is like, if you just be confident, it'll like work. It doesn't work for me. It pisses me off. Maybe it works for some people. The average idiot. Doesn't work for me. I hate that shit. This guy was just like pushing boundaries and shit the whole time. It was fucking annoying. First time I met the guy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, not my type of person at all. I don't really understand why people are like that. I don't really understand. I think I think people think I'm a bit like this, but I also think like I put a lot of work in and have like a good basis for my positions and arguments, and I'm usually only acting. Yeah, maybe it looks like I'm condescending, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it doesn't come from nowhere. Like, I'm not really just compensating in that set. That sort of thing. Overbearing, right? That's what this guy was like. It's fucking annoying. I hate it. It's what my grandmother's like as well. Overbearing. She thinks she's right, even though she has no basis for correctness. Like, her arguments aren't logical. They're just like sentimental arguments. Seriously. Overbearing. That's what these people are like, bro. Maybe it's a Polynesian culture thing. Has a tendency toward overbearingness. And then white culture has this inflated sense of like ego. What's the difference between arrogance and overconfidence? Like narcissism, right? Narcissism, isn't it? Yeah, I'd say it is narcissism. White people in New Zealand and Australia tend to be very narcissistic, but not in a good way. Like, not in like a they deserve it way. I don't think they deserve it. Is this the greatest place on earth? Are these the greatest countries on earth? Have the people here worked really hard to get what they have? Or was it kind of just given to them and then they've just managed it more or less since they've already had it? Have these places massively increased their value through the effort of their people? And not really. Not really. It's kind of a joke. Like, and people here will hate to hear this, but that's true. It kind of hasn't improved as a result of the effort of the people here, massively. Maybe a few people have improved things a bit, but the majority of the people have just kept things as they are and cut things back and made things worse over time. Like, these countries aren't really improving except in, like, terms of social rights. It's kind of the only improvement there is. A lot of the guys who play this game are, like, super narcissistic, bro. It's crazy. So fucking full of themselves. It's actually fucking crazy, even though they're, like, not outstanding individuals at all. What have they got to show for it? Basically nothing, right? Total pieces of shit. Why don't I just say, like, I really hate white New Zealanders and Australians? That's largely true. People who are, like, multiple generations here, those tend to be terrible people. Most of the time. Most of the ones I've met have been bad people, right? Not all of them, but most of them. And then the inverse of that is that most people from East Asian backgrounds that I've met have been quite good people. Not all of them. Obviously not all of them, but a lot of them. Why is it like that? Why is it like this? It's fucking shit, bro. Why does it have to be this way? Why do I have to be in a position where my own group is, like, super shitty towards me and fucking hates me? I don't even like them, regardless. Even if they didn't hate me, I don't like them at all. They're, like, not good people. I hate the fucking culture of these places, bro. I hate the culture of New Zealand. I hate the culture of Australia. They're fucking awful. Right? Anti-intellectual, tall poppy syndrome. You know what would be better? The opposite of that. Pro-intellectual and, you know, rewarding people for doing well, I guess. Gives you something to work for. What do you even work for in a place like this? If people are always gonna shit talk you for doing well, what's the point of doing it? Like, you can't have any friends if you're successful. Seriously. People here don't appreciate success in other people because it makes them feel insecure and stuff. It's insecurity. People in this part of the world are so fucking insecure, it's disgusting, and it like leeches into everything that they do. Look, I don't even like East Asian culture that much. Like, it's not perfect by any means. Like, it's totally not perfect. So many issues still. At the same time, New Zealand Australian culture's awful. Like, I hate it. I hate it. I literally, it's been this way for years. I've hated it here for years, bro. When you recognize that most of the issues that you suffer with in this country are tied to the culture of the place and the people that live here, you kind of don't go back from that because it's obvious literally everywhere. It is obvious everywhere, right? Sometimes you almost forget just because you're always dealing with the same people over and over again. It makes you think, oh, this is just the way things are. Oh, actually, no. No, it's not. This is not the way things are everywhere. This is the way things are here because of the people that live here and the culture that they have. You actually don't have to live like this. Like, if you were living somewhere else, it would be a different culture with different people, and you might be more successful and people might like you more without you actually changing or doing anything, and they might actually allow you to, like, grow and develop as a person instead of holding you back and repressing you the whole fucking time, which is basically all this place has really done for me. Aside from education, which was not always very good, but it was, I guess, you know, my extended family on my mother's side kind of supported intellectual development as well. They gave me, like, books, and I appreciate that because they valued intellectualism. They're different, though. They're really different. It's weird because, on the one hand, yeah, they're New Zealanders, but on the other hand, the culture is very different to mainstream New Zealand culture. I don't know why. My grandfather's father was an Irish immigrant, and my grandmother was, like, English, British. But, the culture is very different to I guess it's because they were closer to colonialism or something. Closer to the British Empire. They grew up and the British Empire influence was still around. Recent generations have none of that, right? Maybe it's because the people have grown up, like, the relatives I've grown up around are, like, multiple decades older than me, right? Whereas younger generations, their parents are in their, like, 40s, you know? Their parents are in their, like, their grandparents are, like, my parents' age. Which is, like, you know... And my parents are, like, the contemporary New Zealanders, right? It's like, it's like, really imagine, like, the equivalent of, um, yeah, it's literally like, imagine growing up with, like, your parents are in their 40s. You could be around my age and, you know, how old would they have to be? Yeah, your parents could be, like, 45 and I'm 25, and then my grandparents are, like, you know, 65 or something, right? And your grandparents would remember, like, a degree of, like, the, you know, like, the 1960s and stuff, like, the British influenced period. Uh, Neoliberalism has fucked this place, bro. It's crazy. Um, hmm. Like, if my parents were a bit older, they could be someone else's grandparents, bro. That's kind of crazy. Someone else my age, right? If my parents were like 5 years older, they'd be like 40 years older than me. And if each generation had kids at 20, like they could be my grandparents, bro. Because my parents are like coming up to they're like low 60s coming up to 60s. And they are like very modern New Zealander. I mean that in a really bad way. Like, they are awful. They are really awful. Like, not good. Not good people. Um, but in saying that, I know a guy who grew up with his parents were a lot older than him, and he was like established, typical New Zealander guy. So maybe that's not the point. I'm trying to question like why am I so different? Why do I? Because I think this pisses people off. They're like, oh, why do you stand out so much? Why are you so different from everyone else? You born and raised here. It's weird, isn't it? It is weird. I think about this sometimes, kind of frequently. It's like, how do I fit in to like, why do I live here? Why was I born and raised here, but I don't fit in with the culture like at all? And that's kind of been true like my whole life basically. Why is that the case? Why do I feel closer to like foreign cultures than my own one? Why is that the case? That's fucking weird, right? It's totally fucking weird. I don't just mean like one or two. I mean like whole sections, bro. I mean like whole regions I have more in common with than my own country or the country closest to it. It's fucking crazy. I'm not saying I hate absolutely everything about these places. The culture here. Look, there are some positives, but the negatives way outweigh them, bro. The negatives outweigh the positives by so much. It makes me I really hate living here because I really don't like the people. I really don't like the people in this part of the world, bro. I really don't like the dominant majority culture. I feel like I'll never be successful in it. Like, they'll never allow it to happen. I'm always going to be on the outside. Always going to be on the margins. You know. The fuck is that guy got on his shirt? Is that a pattern? Looks like... It's weird. I don't even know because I haven't been overseas. I wish I'd traveled before I got sick. I didn't have the opportunity to do so. I always wanted to travel. Now it's like, it'll be really hard. Really difficult. And people here don't even realize it, bro. They don't even know what they're like. Because they are like that. They have no perspective. The people here, like, define themselves by, like, they are already themselves. And then I'm not like them. I guess everyone does this, but, like, they don't really, like, I don't think that they have very good perspective on, like, how are they, right? Because, you know, everyone around them is the same, basically. And then they see me and I'm not like them. And then I'm just the weird one. I'm just like this weird outsider. For some reason. And they'll say it's like, oh, it's like autism or something, which that could be true, but at the same time, like, there could not be. Maybe I'm not autistic, you know. It doesn't really discount the fact that there's a big difference between the way they are and the way I am either. Like, you could try to explain it like that, but I don't think it's really true. Like, that could be untrue. I haven't been tested for it, but I don't think that I necessarily have, like, issues with, you know, reading people's social cues and stuff. I just don't like the way things are here. I don't think that's, like, autism necessarily, you know? So weird that this idea that you would, like, oh yeah, I would fit in better in another country. Because it's, for so many people, that's just like, well, that's not true for them. I can't imagine how easy it is. Imagine liking your country. Imagine never wanting to leave. Imagine being proud of your country. Imagine liking the people that live here. Imagine feeling comfortable and fluid in your own culture. I can't imagine it. I literally can't imagine that. It's totally unreachable for me, and I don't think it ever will be, because any culture I find that I fit into will never be mine, truly. It'll be someone else's culture that I am putting myself into. And that sucks. But again, why do these fucking NPCs walk up there and then turn around? Why do they keep doing that? Why do they keep walking up there and then turning around? Is it because there's a pole in the footpath? Look, this guy will do it as well. Watch. He turns around. This is getting fucking annoying, bro. Let me take the pole out of the way. Now you can keep walking. Watch, go. That's right. Imagine liking your own culture. I can't imagine it. Yeah, when I was young and stupid and didn't know anything, I wasn't like I didn't know. You grow up thinking like, oh, my country's so cool. These are just isolated issues that happen over and over again for similar reasons by the same people. You don't think, oh, maybe the place I live in's the problem. Maybe it's the culture. Maybe it's the people there. You don't even think about that. You just think, oh, I'm just randomly dealing with similar issues over and over again, right? You have this innocence where you're like thinking the best of everyone. Don't do that, bro. Don't fall for it. I don't know why I interact with these people, bro. It literally makes me feel like shit. They treat me like shit, and I feel like shit after interacting with them. I feel anxious the whole time. It's not fluid. It's not easy. I don't learn anything because I got nothing to teach most of the time. And it's just generally not a positive experience. I hate this shit, bro. Imagine liking your own culture. Couldn't be me. I hate this place. It's like if you attach like New Zealander onto something, it that's to the point where that like gives me a bad impression almost. Like I expect it to not be I expect it to be like a bad thing. Like I won't like it, you know? People people are the problem. Different people, different issues, maybe not maybe less issues actually. Different quantity of issues, different kind of issues. Could be less issues. Historically that's been true. Historically, when I deal with people from East Asian backgrounds, there are way fewer issues. Only issue is reliability. Sometimes they're not reliable. Like they don't reply to you, or they don't get close to you or something. Which to me is kind of better than like they are consistently a piece of shit. Do you know what I mean? I kind of prefer like they are like maybe a bit inconsistent with like interaction and stuff, but they're actually good people and they make you feel good about yourself and all this. As opposed to like they are always terrible, toxic people and they're not good to interact with basically ever. And you will like not enjoy interacting with them. You will feel like shit afterwards, right? Develop this hatred, bro. You really do. This like, you know, detest feeling, whatever you call it, and like this like strong negative feeling toward these people. Very strong negative feeling. I wish I could leave. I wish I could go overseas and just try it out. You know, I wish this place would let me do that. I wish they would pay me enough that I could save money and possibly do that one day, but they don't. They only pay me enough to like scrape by. So you think, oh, you're buying like 3 meals a day. That's out of my savings. I can only afford one of them. I'm fucking scraping by, bro. Sort of. Like, it was, and again, you think like, oh, well, that's not that bad. It is that bad because my parents undercharge me for rent. Like, if I were renting, I wouldn't be getting by at all. I'd be like going to food banks and shit. Just to eat. Fucking poverty life. These people think it's funny. They don't care. It's fucking shit. For all of its like leftism and like progressiveness, where are these people in this country, bro? Where are they? I swear it's just a facade. Like it's not real. Because everyone I meet is like super right wing. Literally. Where are the New Zealand leftists? Where are they? Outside of in the Green Party, do they even exist? Right? Am I just consistently interacting with the worst of the people that this country has to offer? Because I kind of don't believe that, to be honest. I kind of don't believe that that's true. I don't believe that these are the worst the country has to offer. This is like an average section of the population to me. Right? Literally. I fucking hate this place, bro. Holy shit. Wish I could leave. I wish I could just, like, go to Vietnam or something and just hang around. Like, fuck visas and shit. Let me just go and hang around and, like, scrape by. Get a basic job with, like, I don't know if I could work a basic job, but, like, maybe I could be, like, a cashier or something and make, like, $5 a day or something. Or, like, not $5. Make like $30 a day, spend 15 on accommodation, 15 on food. I could imagine that. And then just try to make friends and shit. It's never gonna happen. It's just a dream. How would I be a cashier? I can't even speak Vietnamese. Um, that's a main issue. Long time. Let me emphasize that. Long time. Long fucking time, bro. Like, I keep saying it. This was before I was sick. I had this issue, bro. Before I was sick, I was dealing with the same fucking problems. My intention was to move overseas as soon as I got out of school, bro. That's what I was gonna do. Get out of Oceania, get out of the West even. I was gonna go live in East Asia. I was thinking Japan. I wanted to move to Japan and like stay there for a long time. Because I thought Japan was cool at the time. And I thought East Asian culture is better for people like me. That's the impression I had, and I think it was true. Better culture. Better culture, better people. I feel like a slave in this place. It's awful. It's like being a slave. Either you conform and feel like a slave, which is terrible, or you don't and you're an outcast and everyone hates you. That's my life's experience, bro. Except like rarely when I meet someone who's like similar to me somewhat. But otherwise, yeah, it's kind of been like either you fit in and feel like a slave, like an object, like you just being used by people, or you be yourself and everyone fucking hates you and trashes you all the time, and you're always an outsider and you got no friends. Your friends are just people who hate you. That's I used to be the slavish conformist who was a people pleaser and I just put on the act for everyone. Now I try to be more myself and everyone fucking hates me, and it's like, well, yeah, this is why I didn't do that. This is why I wasn't myself, right? Because I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen. This was always gonna happen. This is what these people are like. If you're different from them, they treat you badly, especially if they think you're supposed to be the same. It's actually worse for people who are white New Zealanders than it is for foreigners. They don't care about foreigners because foreigners aren't one of them. If you are seen as one of them but you don't act like them, there is a big motivation to correct that by basically trashing you until you conform, and they basically break you. That's what they do, right? They try to they try to break you essentially, one way or another, to get you to conform. I hate this shit, bro. Not doing any more fucking voice calls with these people. I hate it. I hate it. Makes me feel like shit. I hate it. Oops. Can't remember what I just said. Oh, yeah. This is how I have to be with my parents. Fucking slave. It's terrible. I mean, this is like being a fucking minstrel show actor or something. Literally, that's what this is like. It's like being a dancing monkey or something. It's fucking terrible, and they love it. Of course, you're only liked because you're like a slave to them. They like you for being a slave. That's what my parents are like. They only like you when you're able to be treated like an object by them. And they push you around, tell you what to do. You have no rights. That is all they will accept you for. Now this is the thing. This is what these people are like. They will only accept you as long as you perform this role for them. They will only like you as long as you are basically an object and a slave to these people. They'll never accept you for being different. That'll never happen. It will never happen. You will never be successful as a different individual in a place like this. You know, in my context, it's never gonna happen. I know it won't. There's basically nothing you can do either. You either don't be yourself and they like you for being a slave and for conforming and you hate yourself, or you be yourself and they hate you. And they'll try to break you over and over and over again. And that's all they'll do. And you have no friends surrounded by people who hate you, right? People step all over you, you know? That's what they do. If you are... If you're slavish, they'll step all over you. But you'll be kinda liked. If you yourself, they'll hate you. This is what happens to me. People fucking hate me for being myself and for standing out and not conforming. You basically can't tell any of these guys apart, right? These guys in GTA are basically like fucking copies of each other. And there's barely anything different between any of them. They all fit the same fucking mold. It's basically the same person over and over and over again. In New Zealand, you have like, and in Australia as well, it's like there are like character types of people in the dominant majority, and you just see them over and over and over again. It's just people fitting a role, right? They're just performing a role. It's not them being who they are, it's just them performing a role, essentially. They're not honest. They're never honest. They lie about everything, because that's what they do, is they lie and they pretend, and they bullshit, and then they shit talk, and they harass you, and they trash you all the time. All of these attacks, right? Trying to break you. Why do I interact with them? Why even interact with them? It's literally all they do, bro. That's literally all. They don't do anything else. All they do is shit talk you and try to bring you down, and nothing else. That is all that they do. Literally all that they do. Shit talk you and try to bring you down. And then there is being yourself but finding people who actually like you. This is the hardest part. This is really hard to do. I'm having a really hard time trying to get this to happen. Because currently I'm being myself, but I'm surrounded by people who don't like me. Or people who I don't like. So I need to kind of find people who actually I can work with. Which I haven't been successful in doing, basically. Yeah, I think New Zealand culture is just not for me, bro. And I've tried like over and over again to get into it. I hate it, bro. I fucking hate it. It's not like a joke. I'm not like exaggerating. I hate this shit. I hate this fucking shit, bro. It's fucking terrible. I hate it. I hate it and it hates me. It clearly hates me. Because the government forces me to take drugs, bro. If that is not like an ultimate expression of like you are hated by society, right? It's either jail or forcibly drugged. That's what they do to people they hate in society. Because they can't execute you, so they punish you with mental health diagnosis, severe mental illness diagnosis, or jail, right? I got the severe mental illness diagnosis. Because society fucking hates me. New Zealand society fucking hates people like me. It has nothing to do with any actual mental illness. It doesn't exist. I don't have any symptoms of mental illness. They've just made it up because they want to justify punishing me. That's the whole point, is to drug me out of existence. Like, to get me to, like, kill myself. Like, when I go to the psychiatrist and I'm like, this medication is making me, like, so fucking depressed and anhedonic. It like, it makes me fucking suicidal and shit. That's how I was feeling at the time. And they're like, give me nothing. They're like, oh, you can have, like, an antidepressant which doesn't work for it. Because it doesn't treat what's actually happening. And then they're like, oh, we're not going to do anything else. They don't care. They don't care. Because that's the point. It's a punishment. You're not supposed to get well. You're supposed to suffer. Suffering is the whole point. It's not medical treatment. It's a punishment like prisoners with no end date. Right? It can go on forever. Some people have been on it for 20 years. Right? Clearly, the point is, we don't want you here, but also you can't leave because you got sickness. Like, I would, if you gave me the opportunity to go overseas and try it out, I might stay overseas if I was allowed to. Why would I not do that if I liked it? Why would I not? I hate this place. Why would I stay here? Why would I stay in New Zealand? If I could live overseas and manage it and I liked it there, why would I stay here? Why would I do that? What? It's not even a question. It's like, of course I would. stupid, terrible combination of things. God, I hate this fucking place. Terrible country. Terrible culture, terrible people. Oh look, this fucking retard wants to come over. And this idea drives people here insane because they think this place is perfect. And therefore anyone who thinks New Zealand is a bad country must be mentally ill. Right? They literally think, oh, you must be mentally ill because how could you not like it here? Tell me this isn't fucking 1984 Brave New World, bro. We are living in fucking 1984 Brave New World. You are not allowed to say, I hate this place, I hate this country. You are not allowed to say that. That is considered mental illness by people here. You aren't allowed to have the opinion that I don't like the country I live in, that I've been born and raised in, and I've got all these reasons for hating it. You're not allowed to have that opinion. Right? You're not allowed to express, like, dissent. The whole psychiatry exists to punish people who dissent. That is the point of it. That is the... If you analyze what does it actually do, what is it actually for, what it does is punish people who dissent from society. And it is intended to reinforce social order. It is not to do with treating sicknesses. The sicknesses can't be proven to actually exist. Most of the time, they have no way of proving that the person that they've diagnosed actually has it or not. Right? I was just telling that girl, like, what happened to me on the last stream. And she's like, oh, that's fucked. How does that happen? Well, that's what they do. Do people not know this is how it works? This is how it works here. They force you on drugs. You're not allowed to go off. If you go off, you get withdrawals. Withdrawals from the drugs, right? Not like fucking mental illness coming back. Because I don't have the fucking mental illness that they've diagnosed me with. It's withdrawals from the drugs, specifically. Because they cause dependence. And then they drug test you. And then if you're not taking it, they take you to the mental hospital by the police. And then they force inject you with it. That's what they do to people here. That's what they want to do to me. Me. That happens to me, bro. I've been injected before. And it gave me severe side effects. They do this to people like me. Like, I am like a normal person who just doesn't fit in that well. I'm not extremely mentally ill. Or anything like that. Do you know what makes me a dangerous person? Is the fucking burden of society that gets put onto me. Right? If you think, oh, you're dangerous, why is that? Because I live in a fucking country that hates people like me, that does nothing to help my situation. Nothing to make it any less worse. It pays me like pennies. Less than half minimum wage to live off of. Right? And they're saying, oh, you're dangerous. Oh, yeah, because I acted out against my parents for fucking torturing me. Torturing me with noise. banging against my wall, like, all hours of the day. Even at, like, fucking 3 in the morning. Waking me up at 3 in the morning, banging around against the wall. In the other room. Right? Torturing me. And they've never admitted, they've never fucking, you know, they've never recognized it. They literally say, oh, it's like all your fault. Totally my fault, because they can never be wrong. They're never wrong. They never admit when they're wrong. They always have to be right, because they're extremely narcissistic. That's who they are as people. That's who a lot of people here are. A lot of New Zealanders are narcissistic individuals. And they won't admit it, but that's what they are. They're extremely proud without justified basis. Proud of their fantasy about what this place is and not about its actual reality. This is not a good place. This is not a good place at all. What good country does these things to people and gets away with it and doesn't even admit fault? Ever. At all. It's fucking crazy. People don't want to hear the fucking truth about it. This is the truth about this place, bro. If you don't fit in, shit like this can happen to you. Like has happened to me. When psychiatrists see you don't work, you got no friends, you're getting into conflict with people, they like prey on you, right? Like a predator. And the mental illness diagnosis is incoming. Fucking incoming. Okay? If you don't work, you got no friends, you seem marginal, like on the outside. You seem like different from the rest of people. And you're getting into conflict with others. Mental illness diagnosis incoming 100%. It'll either be like schizophrenia, bipolar, borderline personality, one of these extreme ones. This is all it takes. If you don't work, you got no friends. If you get into conflict with other people, the conflict is usually like, oh, they say, oh, they're dangerous. And that gets you locked up. You don't even have to have committed a crime. It could be an argument. It could be an argument with your parents. It can get you sent to a mental hospital. Because that's something that they can do, bro. It's insane. It's fucking insane. This country is fucking garbage. It is so extremely corrupt. It's crazy. This place is so fucking corrupt. It's actually crazy. Non-conformist, right? If you don't fit in, if you're kind of marginalized. Yeah, but you see, New Zealand and Australia are individualist societies with quite a high degree of conformity. There's not very much diversity within the dominant majority groups. They're very conformistic, even though they're individualist societies. Kind of stupid. United Kingdom's not very non-conformistic either. I would think they're quite conformistic. there a map or something? Can I get a map? Okay. This says that Norway is more individualist than France, though. How does that work? Let me ask ChatGPT. Why is it... Here we go, come on. Why is it that Australians and New Zealanders seem to be quite conformistic slash institutional, if it's not expressive, what's the point of it? If you can't express yourself individually, how is it really individualism? What the fuck? Weak formal hierarchy, personal rights and fairness, legal and political equality, freedom to choose stuff. Doesn't mean there is tolerance, encouragement, or high acceptance of dissent. Which sucks. Like, that sucks, doesn't it? What the fuck? Institutional individualism, social normalizing. Yeah, these are normative contours. I don't like this at all. I don't like that you can't stand out and be successful. It pisses me off. It makes people resentful and passive aggressive all the time. I hate it. I can't stand that shit. I like Americans because they're like honest about like, oh yeah, I am good at this. And it's like, oh yeah, you are good at that. That's cool. And when you're good at something, they're like, hey, you're good at this. That's cool. It's so much easier. There's not this fucking bullshit ass performance that people put on in this part of the world where they get pissed off at every little thing that looks like some kind of hierarchical difference or like superiority. I swear it comes from the fact that they are so fucking insecure and feel inferior that they feel the need to like level everybody. They feel the need to make everyone else equal to them because they feel so inferior and like insecure about themselves. It's stupid. This is a good point. I don't like being from a small country, bro. It sucks. Being from the United States would be so cool because you can just, if you don't like it in one area, you can just move states. Like, I just moved to like the fucking West Coast. Like, I live in the West Coast, California, Washington, Oregon. I'll just chill out around there, bro, in the cities. That'd be so cool. I could do that. United States probably wouldn't even let me in because I'm a fucking communist. They'll interrogate me and then say fuck off. Trump doesn't want your people here. Trump doesn't like your kind. We don't like your kind. That's what the border guards will say. I think this is like dishonest. I feel like people should just say what they mean. Something like they're always like passive aggressive and stuff. It pisses me off. Like I told this girl, oh, I don't really like the music you recommended me. Just not my style. And she doesn't reply to me. That was days ago. She's still not replied. She's not going to. I know it. That's what people are like here. They can't handle like direct criticism, even if it's not personal. Like people disagree on things all the time. You're not allowed to disagree. It's weird. I thought New Zealanders valued honesty, but apparently that's not true. Because it has so many conditions to it. So they are conformists. So you have individualism, but also conformity. So it disagrees with the point that people made, where high individualism means high conformity. Because in Australia and New Zealand, you have high individualism, but conformity, but oh, sorry, high individualism is supposed to mean low conformity. Actually, in Australia and New Zealand, you have high individualism and conformity is still high. That's the fucking problem. They still make you conform. You still expected to conform. Oh, you're free to, like, do this and that, but also socially, you have to conform or people won't like you. You have to be a slave. I know this. I know this because this is, like, all the relationships I've had with most, like, white New Zealanders who aren't from overseas and aren't, like, super marginalized and different. It's fucking stupid. Peer conformity is high. That's what this says. That's fucked. I don't like this shit. It pisses me off. I think people should be proud of themselves if they have done good work. I don't like this negative selection where we don't reward people for doing well. It pisses me off. Yeah, this is why it's such a struggle. It feels like being repressed. New Zealand and Australia make me hate social egalitarianism, bro. It makes me hate it. Really. It just pisses me off so much. Fuck off. Bro, get off. Get off my screen. Oh my god, fucking hell. Oh my god, go away. How do I get this off my screen, bro? What the fuck? Jesus Christ, that's so annoying. else is generalized. Well, yeah. Oh well. At least, even though this looks bad, it's kind of like at least the A stage is like predictable. Like at least once you learn the rules, you can predict how everything's gonna go most of the time. New Zealand can be kind of hard to predict sometimes. Sometimes not, but yeah, where is pair conformity not high? Bro, all of these are high. What if I want low pair conformity? Okay. How to use the bathroom. Is the Netherlands a Nordic? I don't think the Netherlands is Nordic. Rotisserie chicken is so good, bro. Maybe not rotisserie, but air fried chicken. Holy shit, it tastes so good. I should buy one. My parents made one. I ate like tiny little bits. They have the rest. Crazy, bro. I'm getting a steak sandwich with fries and onion rings. That's not very good. I should get like a rotisserie chicken or something. Hmm. chicken tastes so good. fries are good. Way better than usual. Damn. You already know who it is. Silent O, Silent O, Silent O, Silent O. Now watch me whip, watch me nene. really tired. I'm really tired. Okay, I'm gonna lie down.